All right, we are live. Sorry for the delay. I'll tell you guys why there was a little delay in a minute. But first, I'm so excited to be here. I've got an awesome guest. He is fantastic. He's a great booktuber, has an awesome booktube channel. He has an awesome book and novella that I loved. And I'm here with Andrew Watson. How you doing, Andrew?
I am doing so well. Thank you very much for having me on.
Yeah, you are welcome. Thank you for coming on. This is fantastic. Let's see who we got in here already. We've got Library on Legs in here. Have you ever seen their channel yet?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool with the horses.
Yeah.
I dig it. I dig it.
It's awesome. Yeah.
And of course, the other Andrew's Wizardly Reads. How's it going, man? He does have the best name. I agree.
Us Andrews got to stick together.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, there's like a million mats on.
I know. There's a lot of mats.
So, you know, we need to bring up the amount of Andrews.
Yes. I agree. 100%.
Yeah.
There is a lot of mats. It's kind of wild. Yes. Andrew says your book was a solid read. I agree. 100%. I cannot wait to talk about it. So yeah, sorry we started late. I was telling Andrew a little bit when I was rushing to get home. So this morning, my wife Alison had the morning off. She works tonight, but she's like, "Oh, I made plans to go get coffee with this other couple that we're good friends with." And I'm like, "Well, I got this interview at 1 that I'm really pumped about. So we got to be careful." And she's like, "Oh yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine." So I kept trying to end the conversation, like, "We got to go." And she just kept starting new ones as we're backing out the door. I'm like, "We got to go." So I made it just in time, but we were a couple minutes late. Thanks for hanging out and being patient. I appreciate it. And thank you for being so gracious and waiting for me too. I appreciate that.
Of course. Yeah. Just a couple minutes. It's all good.
It's all good. It's nothing. Yeah. Well, all right. So, we're here to talk about a lot of things, but first I want to talk about your book. That is awesome. Harbinger of Justice. How long ago has it been since it first came out now?
Over a year. It came out.
I was going to say a year, right?
June? Yeah. I can't remember the date. The start of June.
Yeah. Okay.
So last June sometime. Yeah.
Wow. Probably a bit of a whirlwind for you, huh? The last year.
Yeah. It's been crazy. It has been. It's been intense. It's been a lot, but it's been amazing. It's been so good.
Oh yeah.
There's something really special about getting that first book out, your debut.
Oh yeah.
So much excitement and everything, and getting the first physical copy is really special.
Yeah,
especially when you've been working on it for that long. When you've been working on it for years and years, it's yeah.
Oh yeah, I bet. Kenneth is in here. Hey Kenneth, thanks for being here. And this is what I was going to ask next. Andrew had a great question. Are you happy with the reception so far?
Yeah, I'm blown away by the reception. It's been amazing. It's been absolutely incredible to see all the nice messages and reviews and get to chat with awesome people like you about it. It's been amazing.
Oh man. Yeah, it's such a good book, dude. Like I said in my review I put out a while ago, it is like Venom meets Aladdin meets Stranger Things. So
I wish I heard that comparison when I released the book, because that is such a good comparison. You said it, I was like, that's right? Genius. I should have marketed it like that. That would have been so good. I was so mad that I hadn't come up with that. I was like, that's great. Yeah,
it is though. I love it, man. It's so good. Like the shadow magic with that shadow. I don't even know what entity, I guess.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Venom part, and then definitely an Aladdin world. That's the vibe I got. And then that mysterious veil, otherworldly thing, Stranger Things. So I loved it, man. It was so good.
Thank you.
So before so I have 3 important questions to ask you.
Okay.
To start off, so I don't forget. The first one is kind of silly. It has nothing to do with the book or anything. It's just something I wanted to remember to ask you because I've always wanted to. So you have a sweet accent. It's very cool.
Thank you.
And I've always wondered, like us with just regular not cool accents. I always think that you guys from across the pond have such cool accents, and I want to know, like, do you guys ever what do you guys think of like the way we say things? Do you ever think like, what is it, just like, oh, we sound way cooler than they do, or is it like the other way around?
Yeah, it's funny. I never thought I had much of an accent because everybody around here just talks
Right.
like
Yeah,
this.
that's
This is
what I
the
mean.
normal.
Yeah.
So it was only when I started posting videos and
Yeah.
people are commenting on my accent, I was like, I guess I do have a bit of an accent. I can see it. Yeah.
Right.
I can see it. But yeah, I don't know. I've never really thought about it, which is bizarre, but it's very, very cool.
Oh yeah, man. You sound cool. I dig it.
I like the American accent as well.
Okay.
And Canadian as well.
Oh yeah, Canadian. Yep,
Yeah.
Yep. The way they say certain things is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
All right, we got some more people coming in. We got Britton here. What's up, Britton?
How you doing?
Molly's here. Thanks for being here. Awesome. So, all right, should I stay if I haven't had the pleasure of these titles yet? You should stay. If we talk anything spoilers, it'll be later, and then I'll give you a warning. But she loves to read audio. Is there audio? There is, right?
No, not yet.
No. You're working on one, right?
Not currently.
Okay, not currently. Okay.
There will be one eventually, but it's really expensive and difficult to do. So yeah, it will happen one day. It's just it will take some time.
Right.
It'll probably be book 2 will be out and stuff before audiobooks, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yes. All right.
I love audiobooks because
probably
I would say like 70%, 80% of my reading right now is audiobooks.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, I listen to more audiobooks than I read physically currently. So yeah, I'd love to get an audiobook. It's definitely in the works eventually.
Awesome. Okay, very cool. Do you think would it be where you hire out someone to read it, or would you do it yourself?
No, I get someone else to do it. I would definitely get someone else to do it. That sounds way too complicated. No, I don't think I'd be particularly good at that.
Well, you're too busy writing a bunch of awesome stuff too.
Yeah, it's busy, a lot of writing. So
yeah, because you're working on book 2 right now, right?
Yeah. Book 2 is currently with beta readers, so it's pretty much done. It's going to the editor very soon, and I'm currently working with the artist Felix Ortiz on the cover. So it is all sort of coming together right now, which is really exciting. Hopefully I'll have more to share sort of October time.
Ooh, so this October, more to share?
Yeah, more to share. I think release will probably be late January.
Oh, yeah, that's sweet, man.
But there will be ARC copies and stuff out before that.
Okay.
So
if anyone hasn't seen the cover, look at that beauty.
Yeah, Felix nailed it. He's such a good artist. He's incredibly talented.
Amazing, man. And got to show the naked hardcover. It looks so good on this hardcover. What did you think when you first saw that? When he first sent it back to you, like?
I was blown away. Even with the sketches with Felix, we kind of went back and forth with some compositional ideas.
Yeah.
And even the sketches, I was like, these look so good. I'm so excited. And I just remember I was actually out when he sent me that email with the final cover, or pretty much the final cover. And I was just standing. I think we were bowling or something. Yeah. I was standing just on my phone, like. All my friends and family were like, you're right there, Andrew? I'm like, you need to see this.
Like, you don't even know.
So cool.
Now, did you describe like that scene, or did you just give him a general like of kind of what you were thinking and he came up with that? Like, how did that all work out?
Yeah, so for book 1, I actually had no idea what I wanted for the cover at all. I have more of an idea for book 2. I kind of sent Felix. Excuse me, sorry.
It's all right, man. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just still surviving from this chest infection.
I know. You were sick there for a bit.
Yeah, I was sick for quite a while. Still shaking the tail end. But yeah, I didn't really have much of an idea for cover 1. And one of the reasons why I wanted to work with Felix is I saw in an interview with him, he said he really likes taking sort of the creative control and take the reins. So I was like, he's the artist to
You're
work
like,
with because I have no idea what I'm doing.
You're like, please
So I
do
just
that.
said, yeah, I was like, Felix, please come up with something cool. Here's a bunch of information about the book. And yeah, went back and forth, a couple sketches. For a while, we looked at doing something a wee bit more abstract.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A wee bit more like less of a scene and more of like a like floating heads type of thing.
Oh,
A bit.
yeah.
It was a bit like
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen the City of Stairs cover.
Oh,
By
yeah.
Robert Jackson Bennett. Yeah,
Yep.
we're
Yep.
looking at something like that. But I was
Okay.
like, I really wanted like an illustration scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
eventually we moved towards that cover there. So
Oh, and it's
very,
perfect.
very excited.
It's
Yeah.
got the two main characters on it. Like it just, yeah, it tells the story like right in that cover. Like it's well done. It's awesome. Very good.
Captured the tone so well.
It did. It really does. Yeah, I loved it. So that was my first question. My second question. Let me make sure I don't forget what I was going to ask. I think my second question was going to be when's book 2. So we already talked about that. But my third question. Oh, yes.
It's mainly to avoid. It's mainly to avoid Brandon Sanderson because everyone's going to be reading Wind of Truth in December anyway. Yeah. So I was thinking I'm not getting involved in that. Yeah, I'm just staying well away from that.
Yeah, wait till that passes.
TBRs. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
And then when people finish that and they're like, "What do I read next?" Boom, here you go.
Black Mantle sorted.
Yes. Okay. So the other thing I was going to ask you is, I also loved your novella. Silence is Silver.
Thank you.
Very cool. I love that cover too.
Yeah.
And of course, naked hardcover. Like you kill it with these editions, man. They're awesome.
Thanks. It was actually I saw the first time I'd seen something like that was with Rob J. Hayes. He has the War Eternal books. And he did hardcovers and beautiful, and I'm pretty sure they're Felix as well.
Yeah.
Stunning covers, and like you take off the dust jacket and it has that without the typography. And it's like, that's so cool. Because you get to really see the art. I love the typography and I think it looks great as a cover.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, when you get to take that off and you just see the art, you can really just appreciate what the artist has done.
Right. Oh, 100%. Well, yeah, and they wrap around, which is sweet.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's awesome, man. You do a great job with those.
Thank you.
So, do you have any other novellas that you're planning, like throughout the series?
Probably not for the trilogy. I've not got any in the works currently. There is a short story that's planning on releasing next year that is in the same world, but it's in a different part. It's not in Taris. So we're moving away from the desert, and I kind of want to start to scale out and show a bit more of the rest of the world because it's kind of been hinted at in Harbinger of Justice and Silence.
Yeah. Okay.
I've talked about different places like the snowy mountain place to the north, which is kind of where the sequel series is going to kick off. Is up there. But there's other parts of the world as well that I kind of want to start to touch on. And I have got a short story planned in the same world with some characters you might recognize from the first book showing up.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome, man. I love when authors do that, when they create something so cool and then instead of starting something completely new, completely different, it's new characters, new story, but in the same world somewhere else.
Yeah.
I love that. That's gonna be awesome. Do you plan to do that with a lot of your other future stuff? Like if you do another trilogy or more series? Because I'm sure you have ideas that are completely separate too, but
yeah. So with this Shadowbinders trilogy, it's very much sort of I've been building up this world and this grander story, and this trilogy is kind of almost like a prequel trilogy to the main books.
Nice.
So, but they do stand on their own.
Yeah. Oh,
it's very much like a Mistborn to Stormlight type thing. Connected universe, some recurring characters, but very much its own thing. So that's definitely planned, and I've got lots of like foreshadowing and stuff, even in the books that are already out. That will be pulled on later on. That I'm so excited for. There's some reveals. I'm like, I cannot wait to write this. This is going to be a ton of fun once you get 5+ books into the series. So yeah, I'm super excited for that. Other than that, there is a sci-fantasy cyberpunk series that's in a separate universe completely that
Okay.
is
Ooh,
currently.
cyberpunk. Nice.
I love cyberpunk.
Me
It's such
too,
a
man.
cool
Me too.
subgenre.
It is.
So I definitely want to do something with that very soon as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
kind of the second series, and I do have another series in a different universe again, but that's very much still in the outlining, still piecing it together kind of phase. So I'm not really sure where that's going. It's probably going to be a standalone.
Okay.
But I'm not sure.
Okay. Cool, man. Well, you have a lot of awesome stuff planned then.
Yeah. This is one of the things with writers. You talk to them and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm writing this, but I've got like 10 other ideas."
Oh yeah,
they're always going on in the background.
That's good. Well, hey, that's good for a reader like me that loves your stuff, because I love that book, and you're gonna be an auto-buy author for me now, man.
Thank you.
Because that was so excellent. Yeah, no, it was so good. And the novella is a prequel, right? To Harbinger of Justice. So if anybody wants to, you could start with either one.
Yeah.
What would you recommend starting with? Because I know sometimes people say, "Oh yeah, read the prequel first," but if it's better if you read the book first. I don't know. I read Harbinger of Justice, then the novella, because it wasn't out yet when I read that. But and it was a great experience for me. But what do you recommend as the author, the writer yourself?
The definitive order.
Yes.
It's 50-50. It is written so you can start with either.
Right.
And I do think there's benefits from starting with both.
Oh yeah.
What I really like about having this sort of prequel novella that you can get completely for free by signing up to my mailing list, it's just because there's so many indie authors and so many great books out there. It does let you sort of like try out the world and the writing, and you can decide if it's something that you're interested in, because you might read the novella and go, "This is terrible," and then you don't want to pick up a full book.
Right.
It's great having that option. So it depends. If you want to just kind of like give it a wee try, then novella is a great place to start. But if you're ready to just jump head first, then probably the full length novels. It's a full length novel. You get a lot more meat from reading that than you do with the novella.
Okay. Yeah, and I would be shocked if anybody read the novella and didn't want more, because it was, I mean, something you do so good, which I mean, I guess, I don't know, I guess I haven't read like a million debut novels of people, but something that I was really surprised that you do so well as a debut author is, I mean, everything really, to be honest. Like, you're so good at like character development, like making me care about all these characters, and action scenes you write very well, and then pace, like your pace is always so good. Like, it picks up when it needs to, it slows down when it needs to, when you need to breathe and get to know the characters. But like, I never felt bored, and I never felt like it was going too fast or too rushed. Like, I feel like you nailed all of that. And as being like your first book and your first novella, like, I was impressed, man. It was awesome. And that novella tells a really cool story. And you blow through that. That's like a one sitting novella. Like, it's very good.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
I must say it was a wee bit strange kind of jumping from a full-length novel to a novella.
Sure. Yeah.
I kind of had this story in my head, so I knew what was going to happen, but it is very different to try and condense like a story into a much shorter page count.
Right.
Novella. You do kind of outline it differently. Like the inciting incident, it's not quite the same sort of percentage in the story. Sort of the structure and things, it's compressed, but it's not the same thing in miniature. You do have to approach it slightly differently. So I'm glad that people are liking the novella a lot.
Oh no, it's so good, man. It had me hooked right away. And I think later on, I do want to talk to you about the novella a little more, because I don't know if it'll be spoilers, so we'll wait. But I do want to ask you about the main character and how it connects, because I think I might be too dumb to understand how it connects. I need to know some answers to some questions I have. But we'll wait till near the end so that we don't spoil anything for anybody. But so first, all right, I never know how to say, so I would just say librarian legs, because that's what I'm used to, or Ithra, but I don't know if it's Sina. I don't want to say it wrong, so let me know if I said that wrong. But she would back a Kickstarter for the audio. She is.
Yeah.
If you ever think about doing it that way, you've got people that would be pumped about it. So
I've certainly thought about it.
Yeah. I bet.
Because I know Sam Paisley, the author of Elements of Time, he did one for his audiobook for that, but he also did like a special hardcover of his book as well, which was really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have thought about that approach, but
yeah,
I'm not sure. We'll see.
I know. I mean, with like the themes in your book and the artwork there already is, like, it would make a sweet special edition. Like, can you imagine some sprayed edges?
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you want to do on sprayed edges if you could? What do you think you'd put on
tough. I don't know. I really don't know. That's really difficult. It depends what we do with the cover and stuff. Like if it's the same cover, it would be a different response than if we got like a different cover. So I don't know yet.
That's true. That's true.
It would be cool.
Do you have or have you seen the one for Dragon Mage where like you turn the pages one way and the other way?
Yeah, that's awesome. I know.
So cool.
I've got
there haven't been other ones like that yet.
Yeah, and it's one of the nicest books in my collection. It's such a cool idea.
I know.
It's the fact that it works both ways.
Yes,
it's insane.
It is. I don't even understand how that's possible.
Yeah, that's a company called Merrick Books.
Oh yeah,
they do a lot of the sort of indie leather-bound special editions on Kickstarter. Okay. They are killing it with the stuff. They're doing amazing work because they also did the Threadlight trilogy, the Threadlight Omnibus.
I got that one.
Zach Argyle.
Oh yeah, that's gorgeous.
Beautiful as well.
I love that one. So,
that's a great thing about going indies. You can partner with one of these like big companies like Broken Binding or Wraithmarked or something. But they're in huge demand to work with because there's so many authors that want to go and get special edition with them. But you do have those options of working with people like Merrick Books and kind of doing a Kickstarter special edition with them. So there definitely will be a special edition of my books, but who knows when or how, but it will happen. Yeah.
Right. Heck yeah. And Kenneth says he sold. It's on his TBR pile. Yes.
Thank you, Kenneth. I hope you enjoy it.
Yes, you will not regret it. All right, so I guess I kind of want to back up. Let's go way back and work our way back to where we are talking about right now. I want to know, back in the day when you were just little Andrew, a little kid, what were like some of the things that you read or watched or got into that really like developed this love of fantasy and books and all that kind of stuff?
That's a very good question. When I was growing up, I got a lot of books read to me. We did like Harry Potter, Dark Materials, sort of the classics. So then eventually, when I was sort of a wee bit older and I was reading myself, I got into Percy Jackson and Rick Riordan's work.
Oh yeah.
And he also has I think it's a trilogy called The Kane Chronicles, which is all ancient Egyptian inspired, which was a huge draw to me because I was already really interested in ancient Egypt just from primary school. So that's a huge inspiration for me, even with Harbinger of Justice now. I read it when they first came out. But it's very much just always been in the back of my head. It's like, why is there not more ancient Egyptian style fantasy books? There just isn't enough. So I always wanted to write one, which was partly why I wrote Harbinger of Justice.
Nice.
But then I kind of fell out with reading in high school, and I found creative endeavors other ways. I did a lot of music, guitar.
And stuff. Look at that bad boy.
Yeah, so I got into sort of music and also film. I shouldn't have done that because now I can't get my camera right.
I can't get it just how you had it. You had it on before. I know.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm a wee bit lower now, but we're good.
Now I actually just look really tall.
I know. I need to sit on my feet or something. But I got really into like film, and that's kind of when I watched The Lord of the Rings, and then I read Lord of the Rings, and I read The Hobbit, and then eventually I think it was 2020, the end of 2020, I just finished university in 2020, and it was, the world was in different situations. There wasn't a whole lot to be done, especially because I graduated then. There wasn't really much in the way of employment and work straight off the bat because of that. So I kind of fell back into reading then, and I read Mistborn, and that was kind of what threw me into sort of adult fantasy. I know some people call it like YA or younger, but it was my introduction to that type of thing.
Yeah.
Because I did pick up a newer Rick Riordan book, but it's middle grade, and it was good. I enjoyed it. I was just like, I'm ready for something a wee bit more my age at that point.
Yeah.
So that's when I started watching BookTube and find people like Murphy and Daniel. And you can't watch 2 videos without hearing about Brandon Sanderson and Mistborn. It's like the most recommended series ever on BookTube. So I was like, okay, I'll read it. And then that was kind of it. It became an obsession. After that, I didn't even read before that. I probably read, 1, maybe 2 books a year. And then I read that trilogy, and now I wrote a book. I read,
and now it's your life.
Books a year. I make videos about the books. It just took over and became an obsession.
Oh man! So that's around that time when you started your BookTube channel too.
No, I started BookTube. Oh man, the end of 2022.
I
think November 2022.
Okay.
I was on Instagram before that.
Okay.
So I was kind of interacting with the community that way. It was, but then I saw Johan, Library of a Viking, kind of make the jump from Instagram to YouTube. I thought, why am I not doing that? I love filming videos and stuff, and I've got a degree in digital media, so I do a lot of filmmaking stuff with. So that was kind of like, why am I not doing that when that's really where more of my skills are than photography? So it took me a while to make the jump. It was probably like a year after Johan. I was like, okay, let's finally give this a go. But I did, and now I love it and do it man. Most days.
You're killing it. Love and Lore is in here. They said Andrew would date Princess
Caden. That's a cat, Caden. That's not allowed. No. Jeff, maybe, who does the voice.
Oh man. So it's funny that you mentioned that, because I did want to say, I don't know, you probably don't even remember this because you talked to so many people, but when your book first came out, I already loved your YouTube channel and was a subscriber, watched your videos. But when your book came out and you were offering to sell signed copies, like I think I talked to you on, I don't know what it was on, maybe Discord, I don't remember, but to like give you my address and all that so you could send me a signed book. And I just said, and this was probably like a year ago, like right after the book came out, I think. And I was just saying like, oh yeah, I love BookTube, love your channel, I would like to do it eventually myself. And you were just super positive and were like, just go for it, man. Like, don't wait. Like, just go for it. Cause I was like, I don't know. I don't think I'll be good enough at this or good enough at that. Yeah. And you, that just meant a lot to me, man. Cause you were somebody that I really loved your videos and thought you were awesome. And when you said that, it just really, it still took me another year to do it, but
I feel you. I did the same thing.
But I finally did this summer. And that was one of the big things, was like, Andrew said, just go for it. I had to just do it.
That makes me so happy to hear.
Oh yeah, man.
And you're killing it as well. You're doing so well. I love your videos.
I appreciate it, man. I try to have some funny energy just like you do. I love your energy and your videos. It's awesome, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. Keep it up. All right, so that was kind of how you got into. When did you first think about writing Harbinger of Justice? Because I know you worked on it for a long time. Like, when did you really start to when did you think like, I should write a book? And then when did you really get serious about going for it?
Oh man, this again goes back to like primary school, and it's my primary civic teacher's fault. I can trace it back to her. And it's her fault that this all happened, because I always loved doing creative writing. We always got like a prompt or the start of a story, and we had to write the end. And one time we had one about a tsunami.
Okay.
And you had to write a story about a tsunami, and I wrote one, and the teacher was very, very complimentary about it. And she was like, "Oh, this is really good." And when you're at that sort of age, that type of compliment from an adult just means much.
So much.
So I was like, well, that's it. I'm going to be a writer now. Thank you, teacher. I've been convinced.
Yeah.
Clearly, this is my calling. This is it. So after that, I started writing a book that was a bit like Percy Jackson meets Avatar.
Ooh,
which kind of sounds kind of cool,
yeah,
but it was terrible. It was really bad.
It
sounds cool, but yeah.
Oh man.
So I wrote that. I'm not sure if I ever finished it. I actually think I started the sequel before I finished the first book because I had an idea for the sequel. Besides the point, it wasn't very good, and that's just what I did at that point. But then again, kind of fell out of reading and writing. I always had it in the back of my head, even when I wasn't reading, that I wanted to write. Especially when we were doing like filming stuff. I was talking about like when I got into like high school, I got really big into film.
Yeah.
And part of that was filming sketches and little shorts and things like that.
Yeah.
But the problem was, it was the hard thing about filming, especially that age, is if you have these massive grand ideas, it's very difficult to capture some of these, especially if you do something like fantasy or narrative.
Yeah. Right.
You need to find actors, you need to find location, and we were just a bunch of kids with a camera messing about. And it was a ton of fun, but it was very hard to realize sort of some bigger ideas.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I always had it in my head. It's like, I should go back to writing, because that kind of gives you that complete freedom to kind of, you can make 1,000-floor palaces. You can invent a world.
Yeah.
All because it's just completely free to do that with, writing. So I always had it in my head that I would go back to writing. And it was the start of 2020, before I got back into reading. I was like, right, I'm finishing uni. I want to write a book. This is the time to do it. So I wrote a sci-fi book in 2020 and 2021. And it was not great. It was okay. It was, I kind of went in and pantsed the whole thing. So I did no plotting, no kind of outlining of any kind.
That would be my next question after this. So you're more of an outliner, but then you tried the pantser thing and it didn't go.
Yeah, it's definitely a scale. And I think at this point, I just pantsed the whole thing.
Okay.
So I wrote myself into some corners, and it was difficult to get out of them.
Oh,
and the book was kind of a bit messy. And I wrote it over 2 years. And then after writing it for 2 years, I was like, I did finish it, but it wasn't great. And I would have to rewrite it. And I was thinking, because I've been working on this for so long, I'm done with it. I don't want to write it anymore. I'm done with this project. I can't. And in the background, I always wanted to write fantasy. It was just the sci-fi idea that came first.
Yeah.
However, this was when I was getting into reading, and I read way more fantasy than sci-fi. I don't really read a ton of sci-fi. So I was getting to Mistborn and Sanderson, Ember Blade, Rage of Dragons, and all these types of things. And I was thinking, right, I need to write fantasy. So I kind of paused the sci-fi idea, put it on the shelf. I might go back to it one day. There was some cool ideas in it, but
I'm very intrigued right now, man.
The execution was could do with some work. So, and then that's when I was like, right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to outline it. I'm going to settle down and actually focus and write this book. And there's this idea that I heard from Michael R. Fletcher, the author of The Obsidian Path and things like that, Beyond Redemption. He said in an interview that there's some sort of mental block, or not a mental block, but it's a very big hurdle to get over when you write your first book. But after you've written your first book, you're like, it's possible. It can be done. So as soon as I wrote that first book, I was like, right, this is something that can be done. It's achievable to finish a book. So that's when I was like, right, I'm taking this seriously, sitting down, writing 2,000 words a day. That didn't really happen every day, but that was the aim at the start. And get this book out. So that was kind of the focus. And I've always wanted to write. It's always been in the back of my head.
Right.
And once I saw it was possible, I was like, well, this is it. This is what I want to do. So
you made it happen, dude.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. And then your day job, you're still doing that stuff, like, but do you work from home? Like you do freelance?
Yeah,
stuff,
I
right?
work from home. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. I'm self-employed. I do video editing.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah. How do you find a way to balance? Does that ever get like dangerous for you because of being like kind of working from home and freelancing? Do you ever have a hard time not just wanting to do all the writing, but making sure you're focusing on that too?
Oh yeah, 100%. It's a problem.
That would be so hard when you're just home and you can. I'm just gonna write for a little bit and then hours later.
Exactly. Yeah, it's tough. you do need to come up with some sort of schedule and things to keep it kind of more under wraps.
Right.
But I like the freedom, and I can work whichever hours I want.
Yeah.
So I really like to write in the mornings.
Okay.
So quite often I get up and I do my writing, you know, and then have lunch, and then I'm doing video work in the afternoon.
Okay.
Is usually how it works out. So coming up with a sort of schedule like that definitely helps a lot.
Oh yeah, for sure. I bet. Well, and then you got all your booktube stuff too, because you still do quite a bit of that. It's not like you just don't do that ever. So it's impressive. You juggle it all, man. You're doing it well. From the outside, it looks like you're doing it well.
Yeah, on the inside, everything's on fire, and I'm constantly panicking and missing deadlines. But I'm if it looks good on the outside, that's good.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's all that matters. It's protection, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome. So, all right. Well, what are you? Speaking of reading and like your booktube side, what have you been reading lately? When you have time.
So I'm currently balancing too many books. But sort of the main read is I've got it right here actually. It's not got the dust jacket, so I'm not really sure why I brought this over, but Dragon Rider.
Oh, nice. I got
Taran
sweet
Matharu.
I got this. This was like I think from.
I saw that edition. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. But I want to read that one too. Are you liking it so far?
Yeah, it's good. This is the thing. I just finished Ascendant by Michael R. Miller.
I want to read that one too. I just got that.
Yeah, I listened to the audiobook. It was really good. It was a good time. But this is also Dragon Rider. Fantasy. And it feels like a lot to jump between those two books.
Yeah.
I wish I had like a palate cleanser.
Yeah, something a little different in between. Yeah.
But we are reading Dragon Rider in my Discord. Is like the monthly book club for September. I need to hurry up now that I'm looking at the date.
Oh man, I know it's the
oh no, it's the end of the month.
I know. Oh man,
I do want to. It'll probably leak a wee bit into October, but the people over there are very forgiving for my lack of reading.
Oh yeah,
slow reading.
Are pretty understanding usually.
Yeah, but I'm reading that, having a good time. I also just started Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell.
Oh, nice. That's a chunker. That's a beast.
Yeah. I got that on audio. I always like to have like an audio book and like a physical read. Yeah, and I knew I wanted something a wee bit different because I've been reading a lot of classical Dragon Rider fantasy.
Yeah.
So
you definitely went different.
It's the complete opposite side of fantasy. So I thought one is pretty apt given the season moving into sort of October.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Two, I'm going down to London at the end of October, and the author is doing a talk. And I haven't read any of her work yet, so I need to read it. If I'm going to the talk, I need to read the book. And also, I'm friends with the people over at Hardy's Books, who have a YouTube channel as well.
Okay,
and they're currently doing like a community buddy read as well for it. And they were like releasing the videos on like the chapters and things.
Really, that's sweet.
And the guy Rob.
What's the name of their books? I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're booksellers. They have like an online page where they sell books.
Oh, nice.
They've also got like a YouTube channel that they review and check about books, which is really cool.
That's awesome.
Very nice. Ross, it's a couple. It's Hardy's Books.
Okay.
And Ross, the guy he's a huge fan of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. He's read it like a million times.
Oh man,
he's got like every edition.
He's got it down.
So I was like, okay, I need to give it a go. Yes. If he loves it this much, then
it's got to be good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I trust him.
Yeah,
and I'm enjoying it so far.
That's good.
Strange is
that's what I've heard.
It's quite it's slow paced.
Yeah,
and it feels like we go on a lot of tangents.
Okay.
I don't know, like eventually all this might come together, but I do feel like we go like have a chapter and we're doing something completely different with these characters. I'm like, who are these people? What are we doing? I'm so confused.
So you're not seeing the cohesiveness yet.
Yeah, exactly. I've not seen the big picture. I have no idea where we're going with this.
Mm-hmm.
But the atmosphere and the writing is really, really cool. It does kind of draw you in just because it has a certain atmosphere and sort of to it, which is really cool. Okay. So I'm enjoying it. And the audiobook's really good. So
good. Well, that helps.
Yeah.
That's nice. Because sometimes I feel like bigger books like that, or ones that I know are gonna be weird or slower, like I feel like those are great ones to do audio. I think that helps a lot.
Yeah. Or sometimes I like to, with the really chunky books like Stormlight and stuff.
Oh yeah,
I quite like having the physical and the audio, so I can read a bit of the physical and jump over the audio.
Yep.
It just helps kind of get through it faster.
Yes, I've done that with all, because I just started Sanderson too. I read Mistborn probably like in the last year. I did Mistborn Era 1 and then Elantris and Warbreaker, and now I'm doing Stormlight. And I've done that with everyone, like had the audio and the book and the ebook, like have them all so that I can just read it anytime possible, because they're so long, you know.
Whatever the format or situation, I'm ready.
I'm gonna be able to read it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Did you like I know you loved Mistborn Era 1, right?
Yeah.
That was like what got you back into fantasy stuff, right?
I don't know how much of it's rose tinted glasses, because it was the books that got me into it.
Same here.
It's the same with Rick Riordan. I'm like, if I reread them now, would it have the same oomph? I really hope it would. And it might, because loads of people love both of them. But
it's not like exactly. Yeah. There's got to be something good in there. It can't just be because of what it meant to you. When
exactly.
You were Yep. Very cool. Did you read Warbreaker?
Yeah.
That was good.
I read Warbreaker. Really Warbreaker's great. Yeah. I love Light Song.
Yes.
Light Song's a great character.
Oh, so good. Because he's doing a sequel to that eventually. That's one of his planned things, right? Yes. That's cool.
In fact, you already start to see what I really like about Sanderson's work, and sort of like some of the ideas I'm kind of pulling from his work to kind of include in my own. I was talking to Taylor and P.L. Stewart over on Made Between the Pages about this.
Oh yeah.
And one of the things I like to do is, if I see some aspect of an author, I'm like, this is really cool. I kind of take bits. Like I really like Chris Wooding's prose in the Dark Water Legacies. The way that he writes is really beautiful and very lyrical, but he is not really overly metaphorical. He doesn't add a lot of metaphors, and it's not overly purple. It's just really well written. So I was like breaking down his prose, and I was like, why is this so good, and how can I do something similar in my own kind of voice? But with Sanderson, one of the things he does that's really cool is that he shows you kind of the start of a story. So something like Warbreaker, and then we actually see some references to what happens later in the Warbreaker story in Stormlight. I'm keeping the spoiler free. It's just spoiler free, but there is some references. You're like, that's connected to Warbreaker, but this situation is very different. So like, it makes you question what happens in between.
Oh, okay.
You're like, okay, so I really need to know how Warbreaker turned into this situation in Stormlight.
Sweet.
So I'm like, I need to know the story in between. He does something very similar with Mistborn, actually, but I can't talk about that without talking about spoilers.
Okay.
So,
are you all caught up on Stormlight? So you're like already ready for the new one?
Yeah, I'm not completely caught up on Cosmere. I need to read The Lost Metal, the last book in Era 2 of Mistborn.
Nice, you're almost there.
And Elantris. Those are the two I haven't read.
Yep,
Once I read those, I'm up to date.
Yeah, I'm just on Way of Kings, so I've got all Stormlight ahead of me still, and then all of Era 2 of Mistborn. So I got a ways to go.
It's a journey. It's a good journey.
It is, but I'm excited. I did the audiobook for Elantris. It was pretty good. I liked it.
Okay, good.
Shoot, I was thinking about something when you were talking about that. Now it's just gone.
It'll come in like 10 minutes. You're like,
yeah, it'll come back later, and I'll be like, wait, I remembered. Okay, all right. Let's see, missed a couple things in here. Let's see. So, Book Blend Podcast is here. What's up? Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. And then I did want to. Tim Wolf's in here. He said happy Saturday, but I think he might have looked at your thing.
Oh, it's Saturday. I knew that.
Yeah.
I was convinced it was Friday. No, you're right. It's Saturday.
You made me think for a second. I'm like, wait, are we wrong?
Like,
but he must have saw your post or something somewhere, since it said.
Oh yeah,
because that throws me off when I keep thinking about how, like right now for me it's like 1:50, and I'm like, all right, at 3 my daughter has a soccer game, the sun's out, and for you it's like that's like the evening. You're like hanging out.
10 to 7.
I know.
In the evening here. It's strange, especially being in the UK. There aren't many UK people doing booktube and stuff. So every time I try to set up one of these, I'm like, I am so sorry. I know I'm in the middle of nowhere compared to you guys, but
I know. But hey, it worked out, man. We figured it out.
Yeah.
And now we can, every time I have you on, we'll know what to do.
For sure, yeah.
Let's see. Did I miss any other ones? Oh yeah. Cinna. She said it's like cinnamon, so now I know how to say it right. She don't know if you're reading any spooky stuff. I mean, the Jonathan Strange and Mr. That's a little spooky-ish vibe.
Yeah. I also have 2 other books I'm not sure if I'm going to get to, but I really want to read Ray Bradbury, Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Yes.
Daniel recommended this. I did a book collaboration last year, and that was the one he recommended. And I saw this cover, and I thought it was hilarious.
Cover.
Yeah. I've got another copy. I need to show you this cover. 1 minute.
Okay. That is a good one. I have read that book. Oh, that's a sweet one too.
How ridiculous is this cover?
That's amazing. Where did you find these? These are sweet.
Vintage. My friend
awesome.
Ross Hardy, he sent a link to this and said someone needs to buy this because look at that cover. And yes, you're right. I need to own that. I've not even read it, and I now have 2 copies.
Oh yeah. No,
the covers are so ridiculous.
It's good. I read it a long time ago, and then recently I read the I think actually last Halloween time I found that they had a graphic novel of it, and I read that.
Oh, okay.
It's good. Yeah. It's good. You're gonna love it. It's good.
The other one is Exorcist. I have not been scared by a book yet, so I was looking online for the scariest book.
Yeah.
And everybody says The Exorcist. So I'm like, right, I need to try and squeeze The Exorcist in October.
Yeah, that would be, because I don't even know. I mean, I know I've seen parts of I don't know if I ever watched that all the way through, and if I did, I don't know if I remember what happened.
Yeah.
So that would be a good book to read, because I've heard that too.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, when you get ready to read it, let me know, because I want to know what you think, or I'll try to read it too. That would be fun.
Do you have any spooky books planned for coming up?
Yeah. So I did let me grab them real quick. So I did I let my subscribers pick my TBR for October, because there's so many that spooky season ones I want to read, and I couldn't decide. So I've done 4 different, every week I did a poll of 4 different books and then had them vote on them.
Okay.
And so these are the ones that I got so far. So I'm reading Between Two Fires by Christopher
I've heard really good things about that. Yeah.
So I'm pumped about that.
Richard Swan loves that book.
He does.
He always recommends it. So.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. And then Speaks the Nightbird by Cameron.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to read that one. And then My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix.
Oh yeah, I always love the cover to that. It looks so cool.
So cool. The old VHS on there. Yeah. And then Sleep Tight. This was a new one that just came out.
Okay.
I think it's like a kind of. I think there's a serial killer that the main character is this girl who's a detective, and her dad was obsessed with the serial killer and stuff in the past, and now there's a copycat that's back, and now she's a detective, and it's connected to I don't remember if her dad got killed by the serial killer or he just died, but anyway, she's trying to figure it out, but there was only one person that ever survived the serial killer, and they're in a mental hospital, so she goes to talk to them, and it sounds pretty sweet.
That does sound cool. I
don't know. And then the last one, right now it's still going on until tomorrow, but it looks like this one's gonna win. The Truth by Nick.
Yeah, I'm not reading that. No, I heard about it and I went, no.
I know it sounds so messed up.
Not doing it. Yeah, it's the body horror stuff. I was like,
yes,
I can't do it. I heard about it. I think Murphy read it. A couple years ago, and she was talking about it. She was like, "Oh, it was awful. It's really spooky, but I really liked it." I was like, "Nope, never reading that. I can't do it."
I know. So yeah, if that one wins, I'll let you know how bad it is.
Yeah, you need to let me know.
I will. Oh man. So yeah, those are the ones I'm reading next month. So we'll see. Nice. I'm reading right now. She was in here earlier, Molly Macabre, but this is a zombie apocalypse book I'm reading right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. It's really good. So
I think I saw you tweeting about that or something.
Yeah, it's good.
I was like, that sounds quite cool.
I know. Yeah, it's a good one. Very do you like Last of Us? Have you ever played that game or watched the show? Very like vibes, kind of
very good at the game, but I love the show.
Me neither. I actually ended up, because the game was just so hard for me. Eventually I ended up watching like what happens videos about what actually happens in the game, just so I knew.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's I've got some good reads lined up. This month has been kind of cruddy for reading. Like, I don't know. I think when I started booktube, I started in June because I'm a teacher, so right at the beginning of summer break. And it's so nice. I had all this time to read, just home with my kids and start this, and now it's back to like, going to work every day and helping the kids with their homework and their routines, and it's like, gosh, I don't have nearly as much time to read. So I got to make a new normal, like you said, schedule. You just got to figure it out.
Yeah, I have no idea how you, like, family people like you with kids and things, manage booktube. I'm like, that's insane. Man. I can't imagine it.
I know, and I started to get back into writing because I want to write books too.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah, so I was doing that over the summer, and it was going good. But now I'm like, it's like, there's only so many minutes in the day.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. It just takes time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
How about like you mentioned that okay, so what are some of your other hobbies? Like, I know you play video games sometimes, and then movies, TV shows. Like, what kind of stuff do you like in those areas?
So currently, I've actually been playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Which is like the second part of the remake.
The second part, I haven't played it yet. I've got the first part. That was awesome. Yeah.
It was so good. It was, I've not played the original 7, which may be a sin for the
Final Fantasy. That's fine. I did back in the day. I mean, the new one's obviously way better. Like,
I love the action
story. Oh yeah, me too.
And I like the story and the graphics and the character work.
So good.
Oh man, I fell in love with Remake. It was so good.
Me too.
So I'm playing through Rebirth.
Okay.
I've not got a lot of time because I'm doing a lot of stuff with booktube.
Oh yeah.
But now as soon as it goes off to the editor, I'll probably separate some time for
knock it out.
For Rebirth, because I'm having a blast with it.
It looks fun, man.
It's the story and the characters that really
it's so good.
Draw me through it. I do love the action combat and stuff. It's really cool, but I do like turn-based too. I kind of grew up with like Pokemon and stuff on the DS.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure I'll love that kind of OG. Final Fantasy. So I do want to go back and replay the original eventually. And I am actually going to there's a concert in Edinburgh in November, December for Final Fantasy music. They've got like a whole orchestra playing the music. Yeah. So and my friend was like, "You like these games, don't you?" I'm like, "Yes, we need to go." So I'll go to that. I'm super excited.
Do they have like a big screen where they show parts of like the game or something during it? Sometimes they do stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
When it's like media related like that.
Yeah, I went to Jurassic Park one where they played the film on the screen, but whenever the music came,
they did the music
orchestra came
right?
Yeah, and they played along. So they might, because they have the facilities to do it. So that would be cool. That would be cool.
That would be. I think there was one like that for Star Wars once that I wanted to go to too. Like the original movies. Like, that would have been sweet.
That would have been so good. Yeah,
I know, right? Tim says not playing original 7 is definitely a sin.
I know. I will fix it. I own it. I bought the.
Oh, well, there you go.
I bought it on Switch. It's
nice.
I don't know if it's a remake or if it's just a direct port, but I do have it on Switch.
Yeah.
So I will play eventually.
What you should do because this is what I did, because I played it way long ago. So before it was the first one, Rebirth. What is the first remake? I forget.
Remake. The first one's called Remake, and then
Remake. That's why.
Yeah.
The new one's Rebirth. Yeah. So I actually got it on. I don't know what. I remember what I got it on. Something. I don't know if it was on the Switch or if it was, because I have a Steam Deck too. I might have done on there. But what you can do now is get some cheat codes. I did that so that I couldn't die, and I was OP'd. So then I just played through the game and the whole story, but then I didn't have to worry about grinding or stuff.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah,
because so it's pretty cool. But yeah, it's a definitely a lot different looking than the new one.
Yeah.
When you see some of those scenes,
yeah. I did play the first couple hours of it, just to kind of get a feel for it, because I love the remake so much, and it was really cool. It was cool, but it's very much of the time.
Oh yeah,
but, I do want to go back and play because it was PS1 it came out on, wasn't it?
Yeah. And it's funny because at the time when it came out, I remember being like,
whoa, yeah.
But now you'll go back to it and be like, oh geez.
Yeah.
It's so funny how that happens. Yeah. Another Tim is in here, Tim McKay. I don't know, man. I put it out there.
Need to make sure the notifications are on.
I know. But yeah, so I don't know. Have you heard of either Tim Wolf or Tim McKay? They both have awesome books out too. Very cool guys. I'm glad you're here now.
Super active in the community.
Yes,
it's very much one of those names you just see everywhere. You're okay, and then you click and you see that they're indie authors as well, which is super cool. Yeah. I definitely want to get to their books at some point. So.
Oh yeah, yep. What's your favorite like genre of fantasy?
Ooh.
Would you say? I think mine is grimdark. I think.
Okay.
I like them all, but I think grimdark.
Yeah. I've not read a ton of grimdark, to be perfectly honest. Probably just like sort of dark epic fantasy.
Yeah.
Sort of. I do like epic fantasy with epic skill, but if it leans slightly more to the darker side, then
same.
That's
kind of
where most of what I like goes. It's funny because I did a video where I was talking about my top 10 books, and I was holding up a bunch of books from that list.
Oh yeah.
They're all like that. They're all huge.
They are.
I posted it in the Discord, and I think someone said, "Oh yeah, you clearly have a type of book that you like," because they're always like massive chunks.
Yes. Why can't there be more like that but short? I guess maybe they just can't do it. They just can't do it in less pages. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know sometimes I think like, is there something wrong with me that I like this darker stuff? I don't know. I don't know why. I just do.
Yeah. It's like, oh, this book is absolutely traumatizing and horrific.
Right.
10 out of 10. I loved it.
Yes, exactly.
It's very much the same with sort of Hob. Everybody talks about how mean she is to her characters and how awful some of the situations are in the book, and then they're like, I loved it. It was the best book ever.
You were going down that road now, which is awesome. I've got her first trilogy, those really pretty illustrated ones.
Yeah.
But I haven't started yet. I am going to ASAP. I'm trying to get caught up on Sun Eater and Stormlight, and so I want
many great series.
So many good ones. I know. How far are you into her stuff now?
I've read the first two of the first trilogy.
Nice. Okay.
I have started Assassin's Quest.
Okay.
And I kind of read like the first 5-6 chapters, and it was great. I loved it. I just kind of went to the wayside because I've got the book club monthly reads, and I've just been super busy with writing, and I was kind of away on holiday for a wee while, and I was fitting other books in because I was going to something like WorldCon, where a bunch of authors were going. I was like, I need to read some of their work so I can talk to them about it.
Yeah.
So it was, I am reading it just in the background very, very slowly.
Yeah.
So I do need to finish that for the end of the year is the plan. Because I loved it. It's great. And to be fair, the last book is huge. It's like 800 plus pages.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, gosh.
But they're great. They're so good.
Oh, I'm so excited, man. I can't wait. Tim Wolf said, it's hilarious when grimdark authors are the kind of people. It's so true.
Yeah. There was I saw this meme where I had like Hayao Miyazaki, who is like the creator of Studio Ghibli.
Oh, yeah,
which is kind of like Japanese Disney. It's
yeah.
super happy and upbeat.
Right.
And
oh,
things.
Yeah.
And it was like a clip of him looking really frustrated and angry. And then it swapped to someone like Junji Ito, who does the most horrific dark manga. And he's like, it's like the difference.
Total opposite of what you think they would be like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. This is wild. Tim said he read all 16 Elden books in a row.
Damn, that's quite impressive. I'm not sure I could do that because
I know. How long did it take you to tell us? I know, right? I feel like you need a little break in between.
Cleanser, yeah.
Especially because they get so heavy sometimes, right?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, and they're all huge. I mean, the Assassin's Apprentice is probably 400 pages, but after that, you're looking at 600 plus for Royal Assassin, 800 and Live Ship. I think they're all 700, 800 as well.
Yeah. Are you gonna read the what's the series that nobody likes but people still read it? The dragon one, right?
Isn't yeah.
Horny dragons or
the rain white?
Yeah. Are you gonna read that one too?
yeah, you kind of have to.
You have to. I know. Same.
Yeah.
He did
it's
that.
the same with like the slog and Wheel of Time. You're just like, you have to do it.
You can't miss out on that important stuff. I know, 2 or 3 months. That's crazy.
Yeah, because they're big books.
They are, yeah, for sure. Oh well, Tim says the Dragon series is good, so that's good to know. That's the other thing. People say things aren't good, but then I read them and I'm like, that was awesome. Like, it's to each their own. You never know.
I remember Philip Chase and Mike from Mike's Book Reviews. They did like a read through of the Elderlings books. And sorry, they had some.
Good points. Just let it out. I don't mind.
I know.
I hate that when this whole interview, like
yeah, but they had some positive things to say about the Dragon series. Not quite as good as the rest. There was very much like it's the weaker of the books.
The weaker link, but doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep, I agree. He said, side note, I have no life. Well, that's good. As long as you keep writing awesome books, that works out good.
Yeah.
People like your books. Your book, like, I think it's a great combo. Speaking of how you like epic fantasy and darker stuff, I feel like you mesh those well in there. Like, because there's some heavy stuff in there, and there's some pretty dark moments where it's like, dang. So that's pretty sweet. I loved it.
It definitely had some. It's weird because one of my favorite things is when you kind of mesh kind of more of a upbeat thing with sort of like darker tones. The perfect example for me is like Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm sorry, I had to bring it up.
I was going to eventually.
Talk about it all the time.
I'm surprised he hasn't talked about it yet.
Yeah, I have to fit it in everywhere, but but one of the things it does really well is its bizarre and absurdist humor, and it kind of has this really dark undertone. Some of my favorite things, media just as a whole does that. Same. I mean, even if you look at Final Fantasy VII, there's a lot of upbeat, quirky character moments, but there's some dark stuff in there too. And then looking at TV shows, one of my favorite TV shows of all time is BoJack Horseman.
Oh yeah,
I love that show so much, and really dark, but it has a lot of humor in it.
It does, yeah. That's a great example. Yeah,
I actually wrote Harbinger of Justice before I made this connection, but Harbinger of Justice kind of does something similar, where it has kind of like more silly moments. It has characters like Kit, and it's kind of more upbeat, and it has like Fax who does like funny quips and things like that. But I think it's funny. It's attempted humor. Humor is very difficult to get across.
You did, man. I love that dynamic. You did a great job.
But it has all that, but also has these like darker themes and things in it.
It's a great balance.
So it's kind of mixing the two. It's difficult to market because sometimes you tell people, "Oh, it's a dark book," and they read it and they're like, "It's not that dark."
Right.
But then you give it to someone and say, "Oh, it's not that dark." Yeah. You say, "This is funny and light," and they read it and go, "That was not funny and light. What's wrong with you?"
Right.
That was not funny.
Man.
It is what it is. But I do personally really like that mix.
You did a great job with it. Cinna said, "Are you going to write a lit RPG since you love Dungeon Crawler Carl so much?"
I've thought about it. The cyberpunk sci-fi series, I was tempted to go down that route with. I'm still outlining things, so I may still. But I'm not sure. I don't feel like I've read enough because I've only really read Dungeon Crawler Carl. So I don't know enough about it to really write in the genre yet. It's definitely on my radar. I think I could write one eventually.
I feel like
it'll be a blast. I love those books.
I feel like if you're into video games and you're a writer, like you could figure it out.
Yeah. And I do want to read a lot more RPG.
Yeah, me too. I actually haven't read Dungeon Crawler Carl yet because I backed that Kickstarter and I got the cool like holographic cover. I went all out. I got all the things, the stickers, all the goods, the pair of boxers with the hearts on them.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for that to come in because I keep going to read it, and then I'm like, I'm gonna wait till I have that sweet thing in my hand. So, but I might not be able to wait much longer because I'm falling behind. I just hear about how great it is and how fun it is. So,
well, if you like audiobooks,
I've heard the audios are great. Right?
The audiobooks are amazing. For me, it's the definitive way to consume the story. It's so good.
Okay, so maybe I'll start listening to them. Sweet. Yeah. We got some more people that came in. Alex is here. What's up, Alex? And then Mike just came in from his live show he had on. And then Mike also had to make a little ER visit for cutting his hand on something.
Really?
Yeah, but I think he's all right now.
Yeah,
tell me in the comments, Mike's. But yeah,
because he's a pretty prolific indie author as well. He's got a lot of good stuff.
He's got a lot of good stuff. His book here. Another very pretty naked hard.
Oh yeah.
So he's that one's cool too. It's funny. I think he's doing a good mix of dark and humor too. Because when I read the back, it talks about like, the story of revenge, and it's gotten compared to like some Red Rising stuff and like some dark stuff. But then like the beginning is very like lighthearted. Funny the first couple chapters, so I'm interested to see kind of where that goes. But he wrote the Druid series. Yes, I don't have any of those with me, but awesome. All right, so dang, I distract myself so much. You ever do that on these? Like what you want to ask, and then you talk about something totally different, and then you're like, what was I gonna ask?
I've only hosted one.
Okay.
I've hosted two, sorry.
Okay.
And it is complicated. You're trying to balance chat, what you're talking about.
I know.
Yeah. It's difficult.
Oh, man.
I did do a podcast with someone. It's called Storyline.
Okay.
I'm terrible at remembering names. And the guy, he was the nicest guy ever. His name's Marco. And we had a blast, and we were doing the chat. It wasn't live.
Yeah.
Because this was pretty early on, and he asked me a question. I started talking. We were talking about the answer, and then I was halfway through, and I was like, I have no idea what the question was. I can't remember.
What am I answering again?
what are we talking about again? Because I just tangented on tangents, and suddenly I was in the middle of nowhere by myself, going, "Wait, where were we? What was happening again?" I couldn't remember the question. I just turned to him and went, I'm so sorry. I can't remember what we're talking about. He's like, it's okay. I can cut this. I was like, oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah. You're like, that's right. We're not live. Yes.
Make me not look like an idiot, please.
Yeah. That's always good. Oh, man. So I kind of want to know, you mentioned your cyberpunk thing that you kind of have in the back of your mind a little bit. I'm very interested. What can you say about it? I know you don't want to say a bunch, but like generically, what can you tell me about that one?
They're going to be shorter books.
Okay.
I'm kind of looking at the sort of formatting of lit RPG because that was kind of the first idea, was including sort of lit RPG.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about doing it in sort of arcs. So you're following a character and write a certain arc, and then if I have future story, I can continue on. So it should be quite a long series, despite the fact that the books are fairly short. So kind of more episodic, almost.
Sweet, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. Cyberpunk Edge Runners is a huge influence for it. I love that show.
Oh, me too. It's so good.
Did you every play time I see that song, I just.
Oh, I know that the song. Yeah. I know.
Such a good song.
It really is.
I have played the game actually. Okay. Yeah, I love the game. Yeah.
It's a good game. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big game.
It's like a draw. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was a draw to Cyberpunk for me. It was kind of.
Oh yeah.
Game. I love
this.
That
really.
Yeah.
So same. I know. Did you get it when it first came out, or like after they had fixed it? Yeah, I got it when it first came out too.
Yeah, I got it.
Things. Yeah, me too. Yeah. You're just walking around and just a car goes flying in the air.
Yeah.
People are falling to the ground.
Yeah, because they were talking about like it wasn't as bad on PC and the PS4 Pro. I had the base PS4, so I was struggling. It was the fans are going.
I know. But it was still fun even then.
It was actually,
but it's so good now. Like it's crazy. It's finally like what they envisioned it to be, I think.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad they got it fixed. It's a shame that if it came out like that, I do think it'd be one of those games that everybody talks about. But just because it came so broken, I think a lot of people were very put off from that, which is a shame because
it is.
The fixed game is amazing. So
I know. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm even more pumped for this cyberpunk book you have planned, man. If that's kind of your inspiration, it's gonna be sweet.
Yeah. I've got some other inspirations, but it would be a bit spoilery. So.
Yeah. We don't have to stay anymore because that's down the pipeline. We're focused on the sequel to Harbinger of Justice.
Yes.
Silence of Silver. Very cool. Okay, so now, if I ask questions about the main character in Silence of Silver, is that going to spoil anything for Harbinger of Justice?
Nah.
You think? Because I don't think it would be.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
He shows up, but he's a lot of people didn't really know who he was from the main book afterwards. I'm
trying to figure out who it is. That's what I want to know.
A minor part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me who is it in Harbinger of Justice this gosh dang it. Who is this?
Okay, so it follows a man called Bass. Yes. Now, Bass is an Urdal, which is this kind of subculture in Taris, who they kind of live under the sand in these sort of caves and things, whereas most of the people who you meet in Harbinger of Justice are just normal Tarisian people who live in the cities and such.
Yeah.
And Bass shows up for a very short time, kind of in the middle, or probably more to the first half of Harbinger of Justice. Okay. He is one of what Kit called the Doomed Others, who ended up going to the Dark Place.
Yeah.
And surviving that.
Okay.
And coming back. So he was only really there for a handful of chapters in Naya's perspective.
Okay.
And he just kind of goes off and does his own thing. And Silence of Silver is kind of his backstory.
Yeah.
And he does show up again in The Black Mantle. And it ties more into the plot. So that's why it's handy having that kind of backstory.
Okay.
You kind of know where he's come from.
Now you know him. Because I loved his character. So I was hoping you'd say, I was hoping he wasn't someone in the first book that like died and I didn't know it. I was hoping he was he's going to be in the sequel. Okay, good. Yeah. Because he's a cool character. I like him a lot. And then I was thinking I was trying to look at the names. I'm like, is he like one of the shadows or something? Am I missing something? So yeah. Okay. Sweet. All right. Awesome. Very cool. Okay, nice. Yeah. So for anyone that came in here late, again, talk about what's that?
Covering my ears.
That's not a spoiler. I asked the author himself.
Yeah, you're okay. You're okay.
And actually, probably will help you because now you'll be able to listen or read both, and you'll know who that is, and you won't have to ask him like I said.
Yeah. I guess that's the benefit of reading the novella first as well.
Yeah,
because you do get more context.
Right, because then I probably would have picked it up right away.
Yeah. If you did it the other way around, you probably would. Yeah.
So I'll have to look back and just read that little spot so I know exactly where he was now. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I do plan this is something that I wish every author did is have like a story so far.
Oh yeah,
and there will be a story so far at the start of Black Mantle. Yeah. So we'll kind of recap and mention him because he does show up and sort of the story. So
very good. Yeah, I think those are great. I feel like there's not a lot of like traditional authors that do that. Like John Gwynne does that in his books. But I think that's a great way to do it. Because really, I can't imagine. It would be very rare for someone who hasn't read the first book to pick up the second book and then be like, "Oh, you just spoiled the first book." Pick up the second book anyway and start reading.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I feel like that's safe. It's a good way to be.
Definitely.
Oh, man. Well, I did just look at the clock and it's been over an hour. Like it's flown, man. This has been so much fun chatting with you.
It's been a blast. It's really good.
A lot of fun. Ooh, I do have one more question. I just saw someone mention Malazan. Have you read Malazan? Have you read any of that?
No, yeah.
Me neither.
I think next year I'm either going to focus on Sun Eater or Malazan. I'm not sure which yet.
Ooh.
But I'm definitely going to start the year with one of those.
Okay. Very cool.
We'll see which one it is. I might do like a poll or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't read Malazan yet, so I can't say, but I'm excited to. It sounds awesome. But I have read Sun Eater, so I would say start with that one. It's shorter, I guess. I mean, they're big books, but I think they're both awesome. So you can't go wrong, probably either way.
Yeah.
Awesome.
They both sound amazing. They both sound like I'm going to enjoy them. So I'm like, which one do I read first?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know what I'm starting 2025 with. Black Mantle.
Yeah.
Yes. You're hoping January 2025, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The plan is hopefully end of January.
Nice. I can't wait.
Just to kind of avoid that sanderstorm that will be December and probably into January.
Most of January. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's smart marketing. I like it. Now is the sequel going to? I'm not going to get specific and spoil anything, but with the way the first one ended up, are all those main characters going to be in the sequel?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, they're going to be in different spots, though. It sounds like different journeys they're going on. Yeah. But that's cool. That's good because I loved all your characters, man. Your character work is awesome.
Thank you.
Like you do a good job of like making me care about. Have you read? You started reading some First Law, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Like Abercrombie does a good job of like he can talk about a character for just a little bit, and you're like, oh, I love that character, and then something bad happens to them, and you're like, oh, I feel like you have that same talent, man. Like every character you introduced or talked about, I had some kind of emotional pull to them. Either I loved them right away or I disliked them right away.
Yeah.
Whatever you wanted me to do, I was like, oh, you're very good at that. So I'm excited to see what you have for book 2.
Yeah, book 2 is a ton of fun. It's longer than book 1. It does scale the story up. Nice. And whereas book 1 is very focused on Naya, she's kind of the main character. The focus for book 2 is very much on Rai. So you get a lot more of his backstory. Okay. What I really liked about book 1 is you kind of touched on his backstory.
Yeah.
And there is this thing that I did that was half not on purpose, but I saw it in the draft and went, that's really cool. I'm going to, focus in on that.
Yeah.
And that is in Parisian culture, for those who haven't read it, the longer name you have, the more kind of important you are. Okay. So you can gain more letters to your name if you become more important, or they can be shaved off if you turn out to be a serial killer, for example. And one thing I really liked about book 1 is you don't get a lot of Rai's past, but you do see very young Rai. You see his name is Rai, and then you kind of see him kind of later in life, and he's called Akarai. And then you kind of see him modern day, and he's Rai again.
Yeah.
You kind of see this rise and fall in his past, but you don't get anything other than that. It's just hinted at.
Yeah.
So book 2 kind of explores that and gets into his past, and you learn a lot more about him and kind of how he came to be where he is now.
Awesome. He's my favorite character, man. So that gets me even more pumped. He's so cool. And then, so we'll probably learn a little bit more about, is his shadow is Fax, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll learn a little more about Fax too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. This is, keeping this spoiler free.
Yeah.
You do get kind of a lot more information about shades, because in book 1 is very much hinted at, and they're kind of just there's the search for information about them.
Yes.
Whereas book 2, you do get some answers to those questions. Okay. Nice. It does raise more questions, obviously, because
any good book does. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, but it definitely answers some of those questions about shades and things.
Dude,
I'm so excited.
Pumped.
I'm so excited to share it.
Yes. Awesome. Very cool. All right. Well, thank you again for being here. Thank everyone that watched in the chat and communicated with us. It was a lot of fun. And thank you to everyone that's watching the replay. Appreciate you guys so much. Andrew, is there anything you want to say last to pitch your book or anything before we go?
I think they're really cool, and you should all read them.
Yes, I agree.
That's my pitch.
Yeah, I like it. So as soon as this gets done, I'll put everything in the description down below. There'll be links to the book, the novella, his booktube channel, his newsletter, all that stuff. Because remember, you can get the novella for free by signing up for his newsletter. But thank you so much, man. This was a blast. And hopefully we can do it again when book 2 is getting ready to come out.
For sure. This was a ton of fun. Thank you so much for having me on.
You're welcome. All right, everybody. As I always say, until I see you in the next one, devour those TBRs, be brave, be beautiful to one another, and be beastly. We'll see you guys.